How are you doing? Whatever place it is you're tuned on to, the Life Signatures Radio. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Thank you so very much. If this is your first time on the show, it is a daily podcast focused on the teaching and inspiring and motivating and instructing on the subjects of purpose, productivity, and resilience. If it makes sense to you one way or another, just share with as many people as you can. If you want to give back, please hit the link in the show notes and let's have that going on. Right now, we are in the middle of a series. We've been talking for a very long time now. I'm sure this is one of those longest episodes, the longest series I've ever done. We are exhausting the subject matter of personal blockades. We've come quite a long way. And what we're dealing right now is, what are the signs? What is this blockade, by the way? It is something that hinders us from becoming the best versions of ourselves. And it does that to we are unbeknownst to us. We are under a blockade. It's an unconscious thing. Maybe we do not know that it is existing, but it is there. And that's what a blockade is. How do we know it is there? What are the signs? That's what we've been discussing in the episodes. Today, let us continue going deeper. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures Podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures Podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
A recap is going to help us here, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing we discussed long ago, we used more than 7 episodes to talk about mental blockades. We used another 7 episodes or so to talk about spiritual blockades. We used another 7 or so episodes to talk about cultural blockades. And then we did talk about self-concept blockades with quite a number of episodes in there. Then we ended these 5 blockades by talking about the experiences blockade. That when you go through a negative experience, a blockade can easily come up if you are not so careful. So the question is, how do I know that I might be under a particular blockade that is limiting me from becoming the best version of myself? And I've said this is important to note, that the blockade we are looking at, it is in relation to what we could be, not what we are or what we have already achieved. It is against what we could be. In other words, you could have things going on and you're okay. I mean, there is fuel in your car tank, there is airtime on your phone, there is what else? There is curtains on your window. You've maybe owned the house, you bought the car, there is data in your phone, and there is everything going on. Maybe there's a bit of money in your bank account, and there is some engagement in your life. Good for you. But the question that we're asking ourselves is that it? Is that the best? Is this my best? Now, a blockade is something that comes and limits you to getting to your best. Even though sometimes you feel like you've arrived, there is a possibility that is not necessarily your best. And that could be so because there is an existing blockade there. What are the signs? We've been discussing about the signs in the past several episodes. What are these signs that I am under a blockade? What could be the indication that I am under a blockade? Number one, we say that you are a stickler for the culture of the day. Number 2, by the way, you need to go back and just listen to that, maybe 6 or so episodes back. Number 2, you don't have goals in your life. It's an indication, it's a sign. Number 3, you've no purpose. You've not discovered your purpose, sorry. Number 4, there is no accountability in your life. You're not accountable to yourself in terms of your productivity, in terms of your resources, in terms of your time. Number 5, there is chronic complaining about everything you see within you. I have come to realize that complainers are people who don't work. The people who actually do work have no time to complain. They see solutions. They proffer solutions. They offer partnerships. They offer advice. Complainers are just complainers, busybodies. They haven't tried it. Number 6, we talked about apathy yesterday. Very extremely powerful and very extremely important for us to note. I really hate that word apathy. And it's something that I've been through maybe more than once in my life. You don't want to find yourself apathetic to anything. I mean, imagine if you found your wife has apathy against your marriage. Or you do have apathy against your marriage. Let me tell you, it's dead. He is on the deathbed. The only thing that is left is the nail to be hammered in that particular coffin. But even then, it can still be resurrected. And that's why we're discussing these things. But then number 7, let's talk about number 7 here. What is the other sign that you could be under a blockade? Number 7, you are risk averse. You're afraid to dare, afraid to venture. Kind of like the guys who are, sticking on to the status quo or the culture of the day, but that is necessarily not the same. There are people who are in love with the status quo, stickler for the status quo and the culture, but they are not risk averse. They take risks. But if you are a risk averse person, again, we need to distinguish between personalities like we did yesterday and the other day. There are people who are generally, in terms of their personality profile, they are cautious guys. They are like, they've got to analyze everything and they've got to remain within loyal boundaries. They don't want to venture unless they are so sure. I wanted to say something, but let me not do that. If you are risk averse, chances are, and it doesn't, by the way, matter whether it's just fear or it's a personality issue, chances are that there could be a blockade operating in your life at that moment in time. If you're afraid and scared of change, for example, if you're afraid of taking into consideration something that is new, something that you have no control over, you don't have a control over its outcome, you might be having a blockade in operation in your life. Today, I was giving a ride to someone and they were busy doing forex trading even as I was riding. And I know what forex trading is all about and so on. But it's a risky, highly risky venture. And I was just thinking to myself, can I do that stuff? Because me, I'm a purpose coach and all that stuff. Can I do? And when someone tells you something about where you can be able to get money, you find that you want to go there. But immediately I started thinking about, what if I lose? And this is the mentality that tells us that there could be a blockade in your life. And I'm not saying that all of us should go out there and do forex trading so that we eliminate blockades in our life. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that we have different personality profiles and people are inclined to take risks. There are some people who are inclined to take risks more than others. But generally speaking, if I find myself that I am not daring, the last time I dared was 20 years ago. Oh, goodness gracious me. There could be a blockade operating. Honestly, a big one. There are those people who are simply scared of trying something new. Probably they have been brought up that way, or life has given them some knocks and they are been made to shrink back. Whatever the case, sometimes this lack of a dare, this lack of risking, it is an indication that we are tied, we are bound, we are limited. We are limited by the force of fear. Fear to venture, fear of the new, fear of the unknown. That is how a blockade is installed, probably. So watch and see the people who are afraid of going the extra mile, taking the extra step and doing things that they are not necessarily totally in control of their outcome. Things that exposes them to shame, exposes them to failure, exposes them to embarrassment, exposes them to a setback. If people do not want to do this, they are risk averse, chances are that there is an operation of a blockade run about their lives. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring this to a close. The whole shebang, the whole series is going to come to a close tomorrow after a very, very, very long and stretchy, instructive, powerful, inspiring and motivating series. Going to bring that to a close, and then we're going to start a very powerful one. I want you to stay tuned, and bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.